I do not think that anyone would be 100% ready to embark on cancer treatment journey. And the reason is not far-fetched. I mean, cancer is a very new terrain for a lot of people. Even if you're in the medical profession and you're being diagnosed as cancer and you're going through the treatment as a patient now, not as a medical profession, which happened to be my case, it is not, I mean, I don't think you'd ever be 100% ready. But there's a lot of things that I did not think about. There's a lot of things that I did not know about before I actually embarked on my treatment journey. So this video is going to help you, give you some tips, even if it's not to prepare you 100%, but it surely would give you some tips of things to consider and put in place before you start your treatment. So the treatment could be surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, or any sort of treatment, yeah, and it doesn't matter what sequence the treatment goes. Before you start on any of this treatment, please make sure that you put some certain things in place. Okay, if you're new here, welcome to our channel, and please do subscribe. We're dropping weekly tips on how to help you go through your cancer journey, fostering hope and support. All right, so back to the video. Right, before I started the treatment, yeah, we happen to live in a country where it's just me. When I say just me, just my family, my husband and I, with two little children. We didn't have a lot of support, physical support, and that is really, really crucial. And before I go to support, there are questions that you really need to be asking. Okay, you need to find out what are the timelines in terms of what's happening and when is it happening, and what are you to expect in terms of the treatment periods. How are you going to get there? Who is going to take you? Who is going to visit you while you're in the hospital? If you're doing the chemotherapy, who is going to take you there and go and bring you back? How would you feel? How is your symptoms or the side effects that you are likely to get? I mean, you need to ask these questions. Don't leave it in limbo. I promise you, you need to know what to expect. If it is surgery, how long is the recovery? What are the stages of the recovery? Like you can never ask too much questions. I would advise that you ask as many questions as possible so that you will be able to plan. Okay, what's the recovery period? What do I need to put in place in terms of family support? If you have young children, if you have children or dependents, like people that you're taking care of, it could be maybe you are the caretaker of another person who is not very well, or an elderly person. You need to know. So having that putting in place, like involve family and friends. In my own case, even though we're not from this country originally, that means just my husband and I are living here, but I did have my church folks and they were amazing. I had a few, like, it wasn't a lot of people, okay, my support wasn't my right of people, but the few people that I had there, they were really, really there. So that's a massive thing to consider. That's a massive thing to consider, both for the physical aspect, in terms of cooking, in terms of taking care of the house, in terms of looking after you, taking care of you, because depending on the type of surgery that you're going to have, you probably would be incapacitated for a very long time. So there comes again the question asking. You must know, what does this look like? What does recovery look like? How long is the recovery? And if you're not, blessed to have church folks that would look after you in that manner, I believe that there's so many support groups. You can look into your community and see what sort of help that you can get from your community. And before you embark, the second point, before you embark on the treatment, make sure that you have all of your medical records in place. And what is that supposed to do for you? That's to tell you that you already know, what is happening with you. You know what your condition is. You know exactly what the doctors have said. If you had scans, if you had tests, and just sort of know your baselines, okay? So that if anything is going amiss, you would remember and you will recall, okay, no, this is not the baseline. This is going off the grid, something like that. But you wouldn't know if your medical records are all over the place and you don't even know about them. It's your responsibility, hard as it may sound, to make sure that you have all of this in place in one place, ideally. Okay, so it's very important. The organizers, there are so many organizers. What I did was I had a phone scanner, so I just scanned everything into my phone, so at least I have it handy. There's some questions that different teams might be asking you, like I have different teams, and when you're in the hospital, the particular team that is there, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Okay, because sometimes communication can be lost between teams, but if you know what's happening with you, if you have the record yourself, you'll be able to stand up for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are their own advocate. All right, third point that you must make sure you put into consideration. I am blessed to be in a country where the government health system is still okay, and what that means is that all of the treatments for me, well, I would say it's free, but it's from taxpayers, which I happen to be one of. But I understand that even in other countries you have to do just understand what your insurance is about, how much, what it is that is covered, what it is that has to come out of pocket, because finances, it's a major worry. That's a major thing that puts additional stress on people. Imagine going through the cancer stress, and you have to think about the money as well. Where's the money going to come from for me to actually have this treatment? Some countries don't even have any insurance at all. You'd have to pay everything out of pocket, and that can be very expensive. So you need to work out, okay, where is the money going to come from for the treatment? And do you have any help? Do you have any support, financial support? Who can you go to? Because once you start the treatment, you really don't want to get distracted, right? You don't want to get distracted from what is going on at that time. You might not even understand what's going on at the time, because you're focused on getting yourself recovered. And prior to starting your treatment, next point is nutrition. Okay, nutrition is very important. It's very important because then your body is prepared, right? You want to give your body as much as now as possible to be able to help recovery. If you don't have good nutrition, and I'm not talking about junks, you need good food that can actually give you nutrients that you need for the healing process, for the strength, the energy, everything that you need to recover. And also think about, after you've had the surgery or after you started the chemotherapy, practically you should be thinking, okay, days before, what are the food that you like, what are the food that you'd want to make and store up, okay, in batches, in the freezer. What are the food that can be handy? If you're into fruits, fruits don't last, but you can prepare, you can batch prepare your fruits, like cut it up or chop it up and put them in the freezer, and it's always there for you. Because trust me, by the time you've gone into the treatment and you're going through that, you might not have the energy to even think about what to eat or what to prepare. If you live alone, that support that I spoke about, I've not seen anyone who is able to go through it without any sort of physical support. So please do well to find one if you haven't got any at the moment. And talking about nutrition as well, you need to be well hydrated. Hydration is important. And when I'm talking about hydration, please stay away from alcohol, because that will not help you at all. That will not help in the recovery process. That would put your organs that you need to recover even in more stress. So please stay away from alcohol. Rehydrate yourself with water. If you want to add some minerals in the water, that's completely optional, but please stay hydrated. You might lose blood, you might drains and everything. If I'm thinking back to when I had one of the major surgeries, I had a few surgeries, but the major one that lasted for 13 hours, I mean, you really do need to be hydrated, because yeah, they will give you fluids and all of that, but you have to have something in the background working for you before you even start. And the next one is exercise, right? I'm not saying go to the gym and lift weights, okay? If you're strong enough to do that, I mean, why not? But if not, consider doing, going out for walks, just things that will build your energy up, because you do need it. You need that energy to recover. Yeah, stretches, taking a walk, anything but just sitting on your couch. Please don't do that. Your body don't need this strength, because if you don't build up that strength, you're gonna fall back on nothing when you've had that surgery, or you've started chemotherapy, or both, even the radiotherapy, because all of these treatments, from experience, it does drain you. It will drain you, like it does drain. So please do well to build your energy up. Do well to eat and make plans for future in terms of food, or a well prepared nutritious food, not out of pack and sweets and stuff like that. That will not help you at all, because your body will go through inflammation, and inflammation and junk don't mix. It's just going to add additional stress to your body, that is trying to get rid of whatever it is that is happening in there, right? And mental and emotional preparation is important. I just say that, okay, just take for instance someone who's trying to lose weight. I know they don't even compare in any way, but for someone who's trying to lose weight, for example, if they don't first of all prepare psychologically that I'm going to do this, you'll find out that it's most likely than not fail when they start. And the same goes with anything. So in this journey of cancer treatment, please, you need to make sure that you're psychologically and emotionally prepared for what's ahead, for what's going ahead, because from that mental strength, actually your body aligns, your physical body follows suit. More on practical help, I think I touched on that earlier on, is arrangements to get to and fro your appointments. Okay, so going to the treatments and also your appointment, because at the early start of the treatment, there's usually so much appointments that you need to go to, you need to keep. How are you going to meet it? If you're doing surgery, if you've done surgery, how are you going to get to your follow-up appointments? If you're doing chemotherapy, how are you going to get to your appointment? Do you have access to a car? Do you have someone who will drive you? Because it's likely that you will not be able to drive, at least at the initial point. So very important to arrange how you go to and fro. Sometimes some hospitals, depending on your location, are able to provide you transport, but if that is not that's not possible for you, that's a very important thing to think about. And important also is you think about what your recovery space is going to be. So when I came back from the hospital, because obviously, they said it's going to be painful, it's going to be difficult, but I didn't register like how difficult or how painful or how incapacitated I could be, that I would be needing the help of two people to even get out of bed. So, and I didn't really have a set up place or where I could recover. It took us, after I came back from the hospital, it took us about a week for me to actually get the place where I could say, okay, this is where I'm going to be. The kids tend to stay off of that place as well. So think about where your recovery corner, if you like, is going to be, and set that up before you come back or before you start your treatment. All right, and when you're going for your treatment, if you're doing chemotherapy, for example, what are the kind of food you like? I think that would become a bit clearer by the second session, because then you've seen what the reaction is, what are the side effects, what food you tend to not like very much at the time, and hopefully you have been able to arrange for food, the one that you actually like to eat. But if not, that's some practical help that you need to consider as well during your recovery. So it's just like I said, it's not easy, can never really be able to get the whole thing 100%. Also, talking about finances, I mean, I'm gonna do a whole video on arranging your finances when it comes to going through cancer treatment. But if you're employed and you're working, you need to be talking to your employer what sort of leave do you have? I mean, talk to your HR. Do you have any extenuating circumstances in place? If things are not going as planned in terms of treatment, if it's going to take longer, if there's any complications in the way, what is your fate in terms of your earnings? That's very important. Money, stress with cancer mixed together. Trust me, you don't want to go there, right? And importantly, I'm going to say this: maintain a positive outlook. No matter how hard the treatment is, maintaining a positive outlook gives you a better quality of life during cancer treatment and even beyond. I mean, with anything, positive expectation of good puts your psyche in a very good place, and that helps your body. I think there is some research as well in this area that when you're positive, it helps your mental health, it helps your psychology, it also helps your body to recover. I don't know the science behind it, but there has been research to say that when you're positive about things, your quality of life is much better, and that is not exception when it comes to cancer treatment. So I mean, these steps can help you feel prepared. I hope that it helps you feel prepared to an extent, okay? But remember that every journey is unique, you know, and it's important to find what works for you best. I did find what worked for me, but I hoped that I had at least a little bit of tips like this to be able to make it a bit easier. Lean on your support system, and if you don't have one, I do pray that you find one, because you cannot go through this without support system, you know. And also communicate with your healthcare professionals. Don't ever think that you're bugging anyone, or that you're asking too many questions, or that you're disturbing them. If things don't feel right, please speak up, ask questions, report your symptoms and all of that. All right, and take care of your physical health. Please do take care of your physical health before, build it up before you even start, because your body will lean back on it for recovery. And with proper preparation, I believe that you can face your treatment with more confidence, and I believe that this also brings some sort of hope and comfort to you. And this is me signing out. I hope that everything goes well for you in terms of treatment, and I hope that if this is the first time, it never comes back, and if had managed to come back, I hope that you keep being positive and everything by God's grace will work out fine. So the purpose of this video is to help you, hopefully give you more confidence by feeling a little bit more prepared to face the journey ahead. And until next time, I wish you love and hope that everything, your treatment plan, goes well without any complications. Till next time.